put it to work, and I'ma gauge my progress by the sign of the word. Now I ain't yet a success, but yes, the word that I stress. Cause by the time you hear the CD, count the steps that I've left. I'm passing all of you rappers, it's just a matter of time.
My rhymes, my pen, my pad. And I done made it out the struggle, don't judge me. And what you're saying now won't budge me. And where I come from so often, people you grow up be laying in the coffin. And I done made it through the pain and strife. It's my time now, my world, my life, my life. Ha ha! My name is Pablo Rivera, and this is another edition of Make It Happen Mondays. Ha ha! Yo, I gave you two ha-has, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm feeling it today, you know what I'm saying? I'm prepared for it, I'm ready to go. That's right, I said today, because this is the day that the Lord has made, and I have decided to rejoice and be glad in it. All right, y'all, listen, we started this in my motivational moments this week, right? And I asked you a question. Are you more committed to your limits, or are you more committed to your potential, right? And that's where we're going to start. So check this out. Most people are more committed to their limits, right? It's funny. I was doing these things. Actually, you know what? I ain't going to talk about nothing specific about it, but this has happened many times, and I'm sure y'all going to understand what I'm talking about. But have you ever been in a situation, right, where I don't care if it's homework, if it's schoolwork, if it's work, or just something that you got to do, you know what I mean? And you find somebody putting in more effort to not do what needs to be done than if they would have had to put in effort to get done what needed to be done, right? Like the level just ain't there. They so worried about not working hard that they working so hard to not have to work hard. You feel me? It's crazy. You know what I mean? That's because they're more committed to their limits than they are to their potential. You know what I mean? So what is it that I'm talking about here, right? Why would somebody be more committed to their limits than their potential, right? Well, because they end up having insecurities, right? They end up having fears. They got anxiety. And honestly, I would take all of that stuff and just categorize it under one umbrella of just fear, right? Because they're going to be, anxiety is a form of fear. Nervousness is a form of fear, right? And all these things come from some sort of lack of preparation or not knowing the outcome, right? Well, not knowing the outcome is where potential comes from. Because the potential is there. You just got to put in the work in order to actualize the potential. All right. So let's go. If you are feeling insecure, if you are feeling anxiety, if you are feeling some sort of fear, you are more committed to your limits. Because think about what are the words that are going through your mind when you got that fear, anxiety, all that other stuff, right? I don't think I'm ready. I don't want to lose. What if I lose, right? I don't think she's going to like me. I don't want to get made fun of. I don't want to fail that test. What if I don't get that job? What if I don't want to, all that stuff, right? That is all words that are clinging to your limits, to the belief of where your limits are. Whereas potential, you may not be able to get it today. You still got potential. So I don't think I'm ready. You might not be today, but you still got the potential to become ready. You know, I don't want to lose. You may lose today. Excuse me. But that don't mean that you don't got the potential to win tomorrow. I don't think she's going to like me. Maybe she won't, but that don't mean that all the she's ain't going to like you. You see what I'm saying? Or, you know, depending on he's, whatever, right? You know, whatever it is, I may not get that job. I may not pass. Okay, that's fine. You know what I mean? I can't do this. And what do I always jump in when somebody says I can't do whatever? I say yet. Right? Because just because you can't do it today, it don't mean that that's the end of the book. That's not the end of the chapter. That's a page. You know what I mean? That's a season. That is whatever fragment of time that you want to talk about. That's all it is. Okay? But it's not you. You know what I mean? It's not you. You have the potential. Okay, cool. You might have some limitations today, but now all of a sudden you know where the area opportunity is, and you can work that and you can actualize your potential, right? So again, where's all this coming from? People will sit there and they'll be like, okay, well, yeah, but if I focus on all my potential, people going to think I'm braggadocious and I'm doing this and that. Okay, so be humble, sit down, right? You know, so, okay, so then let's define what that is, right? Because a lot of times people don't understand what I'm talking about when I say be humble, right? Humility is being aware of your inadequacies, but I put a big but there, right? Humility is being aware of your inadequacies, but trusting that you can. That's the yet. You see what I'm saying? Being aware of your inadequacy, but trusting that you can, right? So now all of a sudden you end up having a whole new set of insecurities in there, right? Because that's the reason why people end up working so hard to not do what needs to be done. Why? They are fearful of the act of preparing, right? Because if you do prepare, if indeed you do prepare, when it's time, there's another fear that's going to happen. Because when it's time, you have to assume the position that is now yours. Bars. Let me repeat that. If you prepare, when it's time, you must assume the position that is now yours. Woo! Listen, I want that position to be mine, right? They say successful people got options, right? The position that you prepare for is yours, right? So now there's a whole bunch of other fears in there, fears of inadequacies, fears and everything like that, all of that stuff, you know what I'm saying? Now check it. It's possible for you to put in all of that work, for you to work on your potential, for you to work on the areas of opportunities, for you to prepare so that when it's time, you assume the position that's yours, but it is possible for you to prepare, and when it's time, you fail to act. Man, I'm telling you, man, that right there, that's sad for me, man. Like, I feel bad for people who go through that. And really all it is it's just another version of that fear. It's just another version of that anxiety. It's another fear of failure. But I'm telling you, if you prepare, that anxiety, that fear, that everything, it starts to melt away, right? Because you're working on potential. And just because you believe that you have I got the longest runway of my potential, right? And I'm telling you this with somebody who's been told for years. Oh, Pablo, you got potential. Oh, Pablo, you got potential. And I used to get so upset at first when I was young, I was like, yeah, I got potential. I'm going to be somebody. Hey, but I'm telling you, that jump would get me so upset because when I felt that I should already be where I wanted to be and I didn't even see the path on how to get there, I was just getting upset. And that upsettedness is right, ended up clouding my mind. So that upsettedness made me so that I didn't prepare. That lack of preparation made me feel insecure so that when I had that moment, I wasn't ready. You see what I'm saying? No more, because now I prepare. I prepare by finding out exactly and identifying where my inadequacies are. And then I trust that I can find those areas of opportunity, find those inadequacies, work on them, and then become ready. Because I know that because I'm prepared, when it's time, I will assume the position. Why? Because it's mine. You feel me? Because it's mine, right? So now all of a sudden, notice I'm just focusing on being humble. I'm focusing on preparing and being humble. Because that whole being committed to my limits, once I prepare, right? Once I'm ready, now I'm like, I got it. I'm ready. Let's go. Right. But that can be taken the wrong way. You know what I mean? Because what I want to do is I believe that my abilities, my gift from God was my ability to communicate. Right. So that's what it is that I'm doing is I'm trying to take a positive message because whatever the reasons why I'm so positive. Right. I believe in God. My parents guided me, whatever you want to say. Right. I'm positive. So I got this gift and I'm positive. So what am I supposed to do? Communicate positivity. And that's where perpetuating positivity came from. A lot of people told me I was crazy growing up. Oh, all you do is think positive and that's it, man. It takes way more to think of positive. It takes way more to think of positive. Yeah, I understand that. But I believe it all starts here. It all starts in my mind and in my heart. And if that's positive, if that's in alignment with God, there ain't no stopping me. Now, I got to be real careful, right? And watch me make it happen could come off as super duper braggadocio. You know what I'm saying? But if you understand this whole movement that we doing, right? It's with the power of God. You know what I mean? God gave you a gift. Now it's your decision, right? God made a beautiful day. The day is beautiful. I have decided to rejoice and be glad in it. I know that y'all all seen all them negative Nancy's and negative Nicholas, right? Whatever, right? Just to be fair. That no matter what the situation is, they find a way to talk about the negative part. They find a way to flip whatever greatness it is into negative. You know what I'm saying? I told you a little story about what happened to me the other day, right? That we had a great moment and people were just, because it could have been better. And I ain't even saying that it couldn't have been better. It could have been better, but we did great. And we need to focus on that. And that's where the perpetuate positivity comes from, right? So if we perpetuate positivity, if we are sure because we prepared, well, then what's the next step? To be humble, right? So this dude, Phillips Brooks wrote, the true way to be humble is not to stoop until you are smaller than yourself, but to stand at the real height against something higher, against some higher nature that will show you how really small your greatness is. So here we go. I can do that. You know how much potential I got? I've been putting in that work. I'm this, I'm that, I'm the other thing, right? Rah! And you puffing your chest out and you believe how great you are. And you believe that you just laying it down. Can't nobody mess with you in this, right? That's cool. Recognize that. Stand strong. Be large, right? But recognize how small that greatness actually is in the grand scheme of things. Now that's humility, right? Cool. So I'm hoping that we following me here, right? Because I do not want to, I know I jump all over the place, but there is a message and I try to pull examples from all over the place, right? So the goal of this message today is to get you away from that bond that you have to your limits and start to move you into potential and have you feel comfortable in that place that might not necessarily be that comfortable for you right now. Right? Because that's where you need to be. That's where you need to be in order to grow, right? Again, you are not going to grow when you are just comfortable, unless that place that you're comfortable is the uncomfortable, right? I'm taking a Peloton bike class, right? And the dude said, be comfortably uncomfortable. And I was like, my man, right? Be comfortably uncomfortable. Not get yourself comfortable and then chill there and then maybe put, what is it? I forgot there was a thing where there was a pea, right? In a stack of beds and the princess was able to find it, right? I ain't saying get yourself comfortable, then put a rock on your back to be uncomfortable. No, I'm saying put yourself in a position where you're going to be uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Listen, my pinky has been hurting. My back has been hurting. I've been taking ibuprofen like you wouldn't believe because I'm uncomfortable and, I'm going to get comfortable. I'm going to do whatever I can to take care of myself. I've been icing my finger, all that stuff, but it is uncomfortable. You know what I mean? I go to this class on Sunday. I'm the smallest dude in the class. You know what I'm saying? That's an uncomfortable feeling, but I'm getting better because I ain't competing against that dude and against that dude. And I mean, literally, right? If there was a tournament or we start rolling at the end and everything, literally, yeah, I'm going against that person. But in my mind, the watch me make it happen in me is not saying I need to defeat this person. My mind isn't saying I need to just get this person to tap out or whatever. That's not, I'm saying I need to learn more. I need to be able to prepare myself, right? I mean, if that's the case, what happens if you get partnered up with somebody who you can just smash every time? You know what I mean? Like, man, that ain't nothing. I can run through it. Well, what you need to do is you need to be able to practice them steps, right? You preparing, you know what I mean? No, you ain't gonna just roll over this person every time, you know what I mean? Because then you ain't being humble no more, right? You got to be able to be humble through humility, by living a life of servitude. You end up being able to take your potential and give it purpose. Woo, there's another bar, man. Yo, I'm hoping y'all listening to this. If not, y'all need to be like me back in the 80s and 90s and press rewind. Yo, you heard what he said? Woo! I'm telling you, if you live a life of servitude and you work on your potential and you prepare, you can now take that potential that you're prepared for and give it purpose. And living a life of purpose is almost everything that you can imagine. You know what I mean? So, Pablo, you're telling me I need to be humble. I understand. I'll be humble. The problem is I don't really know how it is that I can work really hard on what it is that I'm doing, be prepared for what it is that I need to do, actualize that potential, and yet not really be big time about it. Right? At least in my mind, right? So check it out. I'm going to leave you with 10 things that you can do to help you out to become a little bit more humble, right? And some of them might hit the mark. Some of them may not. I'm going to tell you one specifically that's on this list that works. But like, you look at me and you're like, well, I'm saying I don't think you do that. It's going to be number 2, right? So check it out. Number 1, recognize your strengths and your limitations. Okay? A lot of people, like I said, if you're more committed to your limitations, you that's pretty much all you're going to list out is I'm limited. I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't do the other thing. All right, cool. That's what's up. It's very important to know what your limitations are, because in your limitations, you will find your areas of opportunity. Okay. But you also need to recognize what your strengths are. I just told you, I'm great at communication. And even within my communication, I know I can get better. That's why I said I know I go all over the place, but I'm trying to bring it back, right? The other day, I told you I was talking to somebody and I had to keep on pulling myself back because it seemed like I was, at least I felt like I was being a Mr. Know-it-all. You know what I mean? And part of communication is shutting up. See what I'm saying? Which brings me to number 2. The second thing that you can do is listen more than you talk. Listen, if you know me, you probably like, Pablo, that you do not do. And believe it or not, I do, right? But I got to work on it. And sometimes I found myself starting to talk and being like, yo, man, shut up. Like in my own mind. Well, I'm starting to talk and I'm like, yo, man, shut up. No, that's not what it is. I'm saying like telling myself, yo, man, shut up. Listen to this person first. You know what I mean? And don't just listen waiting to say what you need to say, but listen to see what it is they're saying, right? Seek first to understand, then seek to be understood. And I would say seek first to understand rather than seeking to be understood, right? Because you can gain so much information, and then when you say what you're going to say, pow, that junk can be on point. Somebody asked me the other day, why is it that you got that sniper rifle, boom, when you're doing your Make It Happen Mondays and your motivational moments? Because this ain't a buckshot of positivity. Be happy. That's not what it is. I'm trying to be pointed. I'm trying to be accurate. I'm trying to deliver a message that will resonate so that you can end up actualizing your potential through preparation, right? All right, cool. Number 3, seek and accept both good and bad feedback. So it's real easy when people are telling you you're doing a great job, right? It's not so easy when somebody's telling you what you can improve upon, especially when you think you knocked it out the park, right? This is where humility comes in, right? Is that you need to be able to receive it and accept it. Now, listen, if somebody, you all got the haters out there. Hi, hater, right? Everybody got the haters out there, right? But what I'm talking about is real constructive criticism, both in the good and the bad. I'll tell you what, when I go to work, I ask them. I say, listen, what can I do better? And they're like, no, Pablo, you're doing a great job. Yeah. No, thank you. I mean, and I will accept those positive things. But what I want to know is, where can I improve? What is it that I did that even is good, but I can do better? If you was in my shoes, let's Monday morning quarterback it, right? Everybody be talking about the game and everybody got something to say on Monday about a game that happened on Sunday, right? And that's what I want to have happen. Once I give my presentation, once I say what I got to say, once I do what I got to do, once I provide the service and deliver the product, what is it that I could have done better? And I want to know, and I'm telling you right now, it's kind of difficult sometimes when you at a high performing level for somebody to come out and start telling you what it is that you're doing wrong or what it is that you can do to improve. And I really try to pull that out of people, right? All right, check it out. Number 4, keep your mind open to new ideas, right? I know how to do what I do. And like I always be joking around, I do what I do like I do what I do like I'm doing it for TV, right? An old Mace bar, right? But I got to keep my mind open because there might be other ways to do things that, just because I take the idea from somebody else, it don't mean that I'm fake or nothing like that, right? I mean, in the military, the lowest ranking private can come up with an idea and the sergeant or the officer takes that idea. And once they take it, it is theirs. All the success or the failure is theirs at that point. They ain't going to sit there. If that idea fails, they can't be like, oh, well, Private Joe Snuffy was the one that came up with, nah, man. No, that is your idea. So be open to be able to listen to and accept new ideas, right? Number 5, own your mistakes. Own your mistakes and offer a sincere apology about it. Listen, it's tough, right? And a lot of times the mistakes that I make, are coming from a place of good intentions, and yet I still make the mistake. But I got to be able to apologize for it. And a real apology. You know what I mean? I can't just be like, oh, my bad. But what I meant was, again, shut up with the what I meant was. Telling myself that. You know what I mean? And maybe you could tell yourself that if you're doing the same thing. But two things. The apology is for you and the other person, right? But owning your mistakes is really about everything, right? And it also empowers you. You own the mistake, so you apologize. Now you make them feel better about you understanding the mistake and what have you, right? But then owning the mistake is really empowers you as well, okay? So what do I mean by that? If you say I messed up, my bad, here's how I messed up, and I want to fix it, you know, maybe you don't know how to fix it, so you asking for advice again, you're open-minded, whatever, right? You are now empowered. Because what is somebody going to do? Well, probably, you know, you really messed that up. Yeah, I know that. I know that. Well, I'm just saying, though, it's wrong. I understand that. I just told you I messed up, right? All right. So it empowers you as well. I'm trying to speed up because we already up to like 20 minutes and I want to make sure y'all can hear the whole thing, right? Reveal your faults when appropriate. So if you're sitting there trying to do something and you realize that maybe you at one of your limitations, I ain't saying be committed to that limitations, but maybe share that limitation, especially if you're working in a group and all that stuff, right? Again, because that way it shows that you ain't just braggadocio and I can do everything. Watch this. You know what I mean? Help others shine. Help others shine and then celebrate their success, right? You don't got to have nothing to do with it, even if you don't help them shine, right? But celebrate their success when they do it. And if you did have something to do with they shine, don't sit there and be like, I did that. You know, I did that. Yep, that's because of me. No, because now you're trying to steal from they shine. On the contrary, what I'm telling you is help them shine and celebrate their successes, right? Cool. Number 8. Sometimes you need to let your talents speak for themselves. How many times am I up here? I mean, I know I said that I was blessed with the blessing and the gift of communication, right? It's funny how I was talking about communication and that's where I stumbled the most. But I know I said that, and I know I've said it a couple times. But you don't see me up here all the time talking on motivational moments and Make It Happen Mondays and all that other stuff talking about, first of all, I'm great at communicating, so listen to me. No, that's not what I'm doing. You need to let your talents speak for themselves, right? Show appreciation for others is number 9, right? And I do that whenever anybody helps me, whenever anybody does anything, whenever anybody just talks to me, you know what I mean? And it's a genuine conversation. I let them know, look, thank you. I appreciate you. And number 10, admit that you don't know. Admit that you don't know. Listen, I know I've spoken about the Bible and my journey and belief in Jesus and God and everything, right? And people be asking me questions sometimes. And like I told you, I'm on a journey. You know what I mean? So I don't know is said out of my mouth quite a bit. I don't know. I don't know. Especially when I'm sitting here talking to people and they're like, Pablo, you know, you got this, you be talking about this psychological stuff and blah, 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 blah. Listen, I don't have a psychological degree. 99.999% of the stuff that I be talking about is because of my life experiences. And I'm telling you, my life was not necessarily that great. You know what I mean? In the sense that things weren't going my way, you know, but, you know, all things happen for the good of he who believes in the Lord, right? And some people, it's difficult for them to take that. So I ain't trying to shove the Bible, no religion, nor whatever it is down your throat. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm telling you, that's my thing, right? But I think if you took that out of it, it would still work. All things in life happen to the benefit of the person. You know what I mean? Listen, sometimes y'all just got to focus on the message, not the messenger. You see what I'm saying? And if you want to sit there and be like, well, I don't believe in the Bible. I don't believe in this. Okay, I don't care. But do you hear the message though? Right? I'm going to leave you with this right here again. Admit that you don't know. Listen to the message that I'm talking about. This is number 11, I guess, right? Pay attention to the message and not necessarily the messenger, right? Your moms can be like, yo, don't go down there. There's nothing but drug dealers down there and they're going to try to set you up and they're going to get you and they're going to da-da-da-da-da. You know, don't go down there, right? And you're going to be like, all right, mom, you know what I mean? I got it. Thank you. You know what I mean? And you're still going to go down there, right? But check it out, same message. You got your boy, and you're like, yo, we going over to blah, blah, blah. And your boy like, nah, dog, let's not go down there, man. I'm telling you, man, they be doing it. They doing it down there, man. That's not where we want to be at right now. You know what I mean? It's hot. Let's not go down there right now. And you can be like, oh, word? Yeah, no doubt. Okay, cool. And you ain't going to go down there. Same message. It's the same message, right? But you wasn't feeling the messenger. You wasn't feeling the messenger when it was your mom's, right? And now you're feeling it because it's your boy. You know what I mean? Listen to the message, not the messenger. Listen, I gave you 10 plus a bonus one. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping that you can take all of this and apply it to your life. That's what the goal is the application, right? So be less committed to your limits. Be more committed to your potential. Prepare so that you can place yourself in a position to actualize your potential with purpose. That's the message. Listen, until next week, right? Oh, I forgot to tell you this last week. Remember my daughter, right? What we're trying to do is we're trying to change ourselves into better versions of ourselves. So at the end of the day, remember to be yourself because you're amazing, all right? My name is Pablo Rivera, and this is another edition of Make It Happen Monday.
Now I ain't yet a success, but yes, the word that I stress. Cause by the time you hear the CD, count the steps that I've left. I'm passing all of you rappers, it's just a matter of time. Pick your jaw up off the floor when you admire my rhymes. A level head on my shoulders when I'm in motion. I'm focused, thoroughly thought of my plans and the execution. You notice, ain't no time to think about it, only time to react. Your intuition.